Good, actually it's afternoon, so I should say good afternoon. It is just me and my doggies. So Chris is actually at his son's graduation and his parents are in town, so they're there. They should be home soon, I think. The kids are still with my mom, and I ran the Baltimore 10 miler this morning, so yay. And I have to say it was killer. It was perhaps I've run a couple of 5Ks and I ran the Frederick half marathon. It was perhaps the hardest race I've done. And I don't know if it was I don't really think it was the hills. It was very hilly, but like I could manage some hills. I think it had a lot to do with the humidity. It's supposed to thunderstorm. They had actually been calling for thunderstorms this morning, but when I woke up this morning, they had pushed it back to like 11, so they were like, we can do the race, because the race started at 7:30, and then now the rain's like, it's really dark and gloomy outside, so I don't know, but super proud of, like, so proud of myself. So I actually have plans to do, if there's money, to do the Baltimore half marathon in, I think, October, because they have this whole like king crab challenge thing, and I've already done 2 of the races, so I only need to do 1 more. So I'm like, let's just go for it. Not that far from the house, over by the zoo, the Maryland Zoo, there is Druid Hill Park, and so then there's like, I want to call it Lake Druid, but I might be wrong. It's a reservoir, so let's just say that. And so it goes from the reservoir all the way to Lake Montebello, which actually is not that far. It kind of like went up some blocks, and then we went kind of like down, and we went back around, and then we went down 33rd Street. You'd have to be familiar with the roads here in order to know what I'm talking about here. But essentially it went from one lake to the other. Finished. I did not finish in the time that I wanted to finish in. I had wanted to meet my marathon time, I meant my marathon time for the 10 miles, and that was just under 2 minutes. It was like 1:59:40. I might correct this, maybe. But I didn't make it. And that's okay. It was so hot and humid. I came in, if you go by Nike Run Club, I'm at 2:09 and some change. If you go by the official time, it was 2:10:45. I'm gonna correct this. So not too bad. I mean, I was 10 minutes over what I wanted to be, what my goal was, but I still finished. And 10 minutes is not that bad, all things considered. And I finished. So a couple things I didn't like about this race, though, compared to the Frederick. I felt like there were not enough water stations. There was a water station at around 1.5 miles, and then there wasn't another one till close to 4. And that water station did not have anybody. Well, there were 2 people working the entire water station. So essentially, you had to go fill up your own cup, and that adds time to your time. You had to go fill up your own. You had to wait to fill up a cup, and it was hot. You needed water. So that's like my biggest complaint, is that there were not enough. There just was not enough water stations, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who thought that too. My second complaint is they didn't hand out any of the race premiums until after the race, which is fine. However, it was chaotic, and it was just so hard figuring out where you were supposed to be. It was like, I got with a bunch of girls, we got one line, then somebody said, no, this is the line for smalls. Go to the next line, they're like, no, this is the line for mediums. some other woman came walking down, and she's like, I walked right up to the large. So me and one of the other girls, we actually ended up, we said, okay, you know what, we're going to walk up, but closer, you know, just go up to closer to the tents and see, like, what's up. So we actually walk up, and there's like 5 people in line for women's large and like 2 people in line for women's extra large. So we got right in line, our stuff, and I turned around and mapped my way home. I should know my way home from there, but the original estimate told me it was 2 miles. It ended up, based on where in the park we actually were, only being about a mile. So I ended up walking home, and as I'm like a block away from my mom's house, she's calling me because she dropped me off this morning. So she's calling me like, do you need me to come pick you up? Where you at? Are you done? And I'm like, I'm already almost at your house. Which I actually, honestly, after the Frederick Half Marathon, I was so beat. I could not move my legs. I couldn't do a lot. I was just out of it for like 2 days. Not out of it, but like 2 days of just like, I was so tired and sore. I actually think that walk helped so much, because I came home, I took a shower, but I've been able to, outside of like taking a nap, I've been able to do a lot more. You know, if the dogs need to get up and go out because I'm the only one here, we do that. So it's been the recovery from this has been pretty good. Knock on wood. It's still early. I'm going to come back to this video before I upload it, obviously, and show you the race gear and the medal that I'm super proud to have. It's actually the next day, and I'm going to show you, hold on, I'm going to turn the TV off first. The race gear, okay? This is the t-shirt we got. It's an Under Armour shirt. It just says Baltimore 10 miler on it. And got this Baltimore 10 miler beach tail that Venus has decided. And I'm like, Venus is like hogging the tail now. What are you doing? What are you doing? Anyway, so yeah, nice Baltimore $10 finisher beach tail. Sophia has asked if she can have this, so she's gonna use. Venus may have just claimed the towel. Okay. Alright, you're gonna fight Sophia for that, you know. Alright, anyways. The medal we got. Baltimore 10 miler. Cute little polar bear. Don't mind my dry erase board. And it's got the date on it. It's got the date up here too. Alright, so I know I was saying I'm not sure if I'm going to do this one again. I'm leaning toward nope. Just some of the comments people have been making on their Facebook page. I think I might hold off unless I absolutely want to. You know, especially since we don't even know where we're going to be living at this time next year. So I don't know. But yeah, I ran another race. Super proud of myself. Even though I didn't get the time I wanted, but that's okay. It was hot. It was humid. It was just, the conditions just weren't right. It wasn't perfect. So I ended up with like a overall 13:05 mile, which I have got my totals updated for the 1,000 mile goal for the year. I've got my totals updated. I might just go ahead and film that while I'm sitting here. Kitty's in the pool, so I'm just kind of checking on her every now and then. And yeah, so I'll see you later, alligator.